Tony D and Little Joe with a screenwriter's rant on Bulletproof, starring Vinnie Jones and James Clayton, about a guy who robs a gangster and ends up in a buddy movie with his pregnant girlfriend or wife. Smash like and subscribe. Thank you for smash liking and subscribing. Check out my books. Links in the description. Comedy horror in South Jersey. It's what? It's the Pineys, books 1 through 9, available at Amazon.com. Don't forget, Kindle Unlimited is free. So, this guy robs Vinnie Jones, and for those of you who don't know Vinnie, he was in Lock, Stock, he was in Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels, right? And he plays, he's a footballer, as they say in the UK, or an X1. I think he's kind of up there now, who made the transition into movies, so he always plays these like heavies. He's not bad for what he does. He's a big guy. So in this one, he plays the bad guy. He's getting a little older. Some kind of mafia boss or crime boss that gets robbed by, where is he now? They don't show a lot of him in the movie. Can't get a still of this guy. He's not Vinnie. Vinnie's all over this thing. Oh, there he is. James C. Clayton. So he's the main protagonist. He robbed Vinnie, or robbed his organization, and he was trying to get away, and then she, who's pregnant by Vinnie, comes along, and so they're forced to team up. They're forced to team up. You know, they keep saving each other, and then Vinnie keeps adding guys to the mix to kill him. Right? So he's got a couple of assassins, a French guy. Yeah, here he is. Here he is at the end. That's James. He's got like a French guy who's black and a blonde guy. I don't know his deal. And they're trying to kill him and get the money back and get the girl back. And then Vinnie, it's kind of cool because Vinnie's like August 19th. Vinnie during the trailer's like, no, you have to come home with me. They get into this confrontation at the hotel. And he's like, you got to come home with me. We're going to be a family. And she's like, no. And then she fires off a bunch of rounds. And she doesn't hit anybody. And then Vinnie says, I told you couldn't shoot. And then she says, I bet he can. And then gives him the gun. And then he starts shooting everybody. So now they're trying to get away. Because obviously Vinnie is really pissed at James. And he's going to kill him. And then, you know, they probably form some sort of bond. She's pregnant. He wants to help her. He doesn't at first. He just wants to get away with the money, but then he sort of has to. Then this is the French guy here, and then they're in a hotel room fighting. So it looks good. I mean, it looks pretty grim and not grim, but like action-oriented, sort of crime drama. Not really drama, but action-y thing. I don't think it's that dark. I think these two get away at the end. At the very least, I would say James would save the girl and her baby. I mean, that would be, you couldn't have a depressing ending where she dies. So either they both live or at least she lives and gets away from Vinnie. And Vinnie probably dies. They probably kill Vinnie. So yeah, this is my kind of movie. My kind of movie. I think they've used this title before. So anyhow, first act. James robs Vinnie's guys, and the thing goes off pretty much without a hitch, except pregnant girl. I don't know. She like gets inside the car with him and gets inside the trunk, and he opens the trunk at some point, and she gets out and shoots him, like shoots him in the arm, and he's like, "Oh, what are you doing?" And she's like, "Oh no, I got to get away from Vinnie." Like at first she was gonna kill him, and then it's sort of like, oh no, I got to get away from Vinnie. Yeah, I'm coming with you. And he's like, no. So then they end up in this hotel, and they have some sort of, he has some sort of half-assed plan to either ditch her or, you know, get away with the money somehow. He's got to bandage his arm. And at first, maybe that's going to happen. But then, of course, Vinnie calls all his guys and says, oh, we got to kill this guy. We got to find my girlfriend or whoever she is, my wife. And there he is, making a face. And they try, and they probably catch him at the hotel there. There's a big shootout. They get away. Second act, more of the same, right? Chasing, trying to come up with a plan to get away. The James and the pregnant girl are sort of at each other's throats, going back and forth, but over the course of the movie they bond. Then they have a few other close calls, and finally you get the climax of the movie. Probably they get her back, and then he has to save her. He has to choose between the money and her, and he chooses her, or that would be the typical way to do it. Maybe it doesn't quite go that way, but something like that, where he turns a corner and realizes, what did I steal? Why am I doing this? Why am I living this life? I'm just living for me. And he finds a reason to live, and this girl and her baby. And then he saves her. Is my guess. He saves her, and they both get away with the money. Vinnie dies, or they somehow fake their own death. Probably Vinnie dies. So, yeah, I would totally see this movie. So, August 19th from Lionsgate. And I don't just say that because I have like one Lionsgate stock, I think. This actually looks good. I'm happy to say Lionsgate has something that looks good. Lionsgate's put out a lot of movies, and I wasn't too excited about any of them. This one I would actually go see. I would go to the theaters to see it. It looks pretty crazy. I mean, there's lots of scenes of explosions and gunplay, and scenes on the road, and it seems to be shot nice. They got cops involved. There's Vinnie. So there's fights. The protagonist, he's bleeding and shot a few times. I don't know if I've seen James Clayton before. He looks vaguely familiar, but not in a role like this. But seems to be totally fine in the action mode style. I wouldn't cast him. He doesn't look like an action star to me. Vinnie Jones actually looks more like an action star, but he's a little too old, and he's a little more grizzled. You want something a little more handsome, probably. No offense to Vinnie. I don't want to get beaten up by him. A little more handsome, younger, to be the guy who gets the girl at the end. So probably that's what I'm... it says, somebody commented, it looks like an Oscar performance by Vinnie Jones. Hey, for what he does, he's perfectly serviceable. I mean, look, I wouldn't cast him as, I don't know, Winston Churchill, but I think he could totally do this. This is totally in his wheelhouse. I mean, look, everybody's got their range. Don't go too hard on Vinnie. He'll kill you. That guy's big. Anyhow, that's it for me, Tony D, and Little Joan. Check us out on Odysee, Bitchute, and Rumble for our more base takes. We always got 4 takes a day, and then 5 if you count the shorts. The shorts are weird. I started doing the shorts. I was getting hundreds of things, and then I did one that got a lot of hits because it was only 7 seconds long. I was telling everybody to come down to Moe's, and now it's just nothing. I don't know why. Is everybody mad about the Moe's thing? I'm just advertising my signings. Anyhow, we'll see you in the next one. Hit the wrong button. In the next one.